Hi everyone, welcome to MartechBrain, a Netcore initiative where we speak to the best brains in MarTech and digital and delve deep into one topic. My guest today is Sayed Habib, General Manager Buying and Business Development, Danube Home. His chosen topic for our conversation is e-commerce trends in GCC, the Gulf Cooperation Council. And Sayed has had an exemplary career. He's worked in multiple organizations, and he's been one of the key pillars in driving the expansion of Danube Home in, of course, the GCC countries and in Africa. And Danube Home also has a store in India, in Hyderabad. I hope you get a chance to look at it, those of you who are in Hyderabad. Welcome to MartechBrain, Sayed.
Thank you very much. Really, I appreciate the opportunity, and it's my privilege and honor to be part of this discussion and have a conversation with you. I'm really looking forward for a very, very nice experience. And once again, thank you very much for having me for this conversation.
Thanks a lot, Sayed. And let's begin with discussing e-commerce in GCC. I think you've been at the front of the tremendous growth that is happening. I was looking at a Bain report, and I think the CAGR over the last few years has been 15 to 20%. So tell us how it's growing in the region.
It's very interesting. UAE is one of the hub of the whole business model between Africa and the Europe. It's a middle point. So you get a lot of people and a lot of brain. They move from across the globe and they come to Dubai and start up. So if you will see the story of e-commerce in UAE, it is going back to 2010 and even 2008, 2009. There's a lot of startups were there, and where the whole ecosystem was not properly suitable to this business. But slowly things have started moving in. And if you will compare the overall number, with the business has grown up from 2015 to 2020, it's more than 4x. So in 2015, if you will see the overall business of e-commerce, it was around $5 billion. In 2020, it is around $24 billion. And the best part is, if you will see, the retail overall in the UAE on the GCC is very, very strong. In $24 billion, still the overall share of the retail from brick and mortar to the e-commerce has increased from 2% to 8%. In 2015, it was 2%. In 2020, it has gone to 8%. But if you compare the same apple to apple with, say, China or South Korea and Germany, where it is 16 to 25% is the overall share of the e-commerce. So if you will see, the gap of increasing in the future is huge. And largely if I'll talk about Dubai, so today Dubai is known as they strive to become number one in a lot of things, and now they want to become the startup capital of the world. So now if you will see the government initiative as well, in terms of the overall, from the formation of the company, as well as warehouse, the logistics, delivery, installation, 3PL. So now the government is focusing also a lot. So there we do have a system like, Easy Dubai or Dubai South, or sustainable city, as well as the e-commerce city. So there are multiple initiatives out there where anyone, you got a good idea, you got something better within your mind, and you want to encash it. So you got that opportunity. And the last thing I want to say on this is, whatever was the plan and how the things wanted to move on in the future, this COVID has accelerated the effort. So what was supposed to happen in the next 3 years or 4 years, it has happened in 2021. And I strongly feel that it was not a bubble, or it was not a one-time affair. It has changed the people. It has broken a lot of myth. It has broken a lot of preconceived notion. And people have now used to this kind of stuff, So like I'll tell you, in the main street of Sheikh Zayed Road in Dubai, if you travel from one side to another, if you see 20 hoardings, out of 20, 18 is for the e-commerce. Insta shop to download the Adidas app, or you talk about Noon or Talabat or Zomato, So therefore it is going to stay, and we are very lucky to be part of this, and we are enjoying every moment of it. Yeah.
So great. I think massive explosion, of course, a great acceleration also, like you said, because of COVID. So what's really happening now is that brands are essentially having to become omni-channel. So many had the physical stores. E-commerce, like you said, has been growing, but it was a small percentage of overall retail. But now I think what COVID has done is definitely accelerated the omni-channel strategy. Have you seen that across for brands, and has this been the same for your own business?
Absolutely. Like today, if you will see, for omnichannel, I'll share the experience of what we have done, or how was the experience of Danube Home. You know, one of the founder of our company, he came out with an idea of starting e-commerce business back in 2010 to 2011. So, and largely in the home furnishing segment. So we launched a website known as danubedirect.com. So where it was a light asset model where you don't need to keep any stock. We used to do back to back and used to buy from Far East and we used to deliver to the customer. But the whole business model was not conducive because in this you have a lot of floating population. So customers were not ready to wait for 6 weeks or 8 weeks. They wanted the material yesterday. So therefore the concept didn't work and we were trying to do whatever was the possible. But if you will see you think about the journey of a customer in the offline. Like if customer want to buy a sofa or buy furniture or buy grocery, then you go to Carrefour or you go to Lulu, you stand in the queue, then you buy the product and you bring it. And then when this COVID came, then automatically what happens is then you have a restriction. You cannot have more than 20 people. You cannot have more than 50 people. Then you go stand in the trolley. So rather at that time, everybody wanted to give the convenience to the customer where you can do the home delivery or you place the order through the website. But few companies were ready and few companies were not ready. Even if you are not ready from a technological front, but you need to be ready from customer acquisition, you need to be ready from logistics, like, so on and so forth. But the whole trend was in such a way that across the line, everybody, they didn't have any option. If you want to be afloat on the industry, then you need to go to e-commerce. So therefore, as you rightly said, that omni-channel is the key buzzword where everyone has to come back. It is not no anymore and choice. It is a compulsion. Like even if you don't have your own website or even you don't have the technical things, then people has gone to the marketplace where you got into Noon or you got into Amazon where you put your product there. I'll give you example from a customer perspective. Like say for example, one customer comes and he want to buy a sofa. Then he go to store and he spend 2 hours to looking into from leather to fabric to the recliner to classic to contemporary design. And then spend 2-3 hours, choose one sofa, then he place the order and come back. But now the situation is not like that. Customer go to website, he sees the product, he zeroed down. I want to buy one classic sofa, whether it's a blue color or beige color or pink color, he choose the color. Then after that, he go to store for specifically looking into that particular item. He check the quality, check the comfort level. Then after that, he does that. And the habit which customer has inculcated now, I'm sure that is going to stay. And that is one of the basic things which you need to have in the business.
So this is very interesting. What you're saying is not just the brand is omni-channel, but even the customer is omni-channel in certain categories.
Absolutely.
So they have a clearer idea of what they want to buy. And it's not just pick up. They'll come into the store and then say, okay, I want to check these things out. It's almost reconfirming the decision that they are making.
Absolutely. Unlikely if you will see you want to buy a grocery or you buy a fashion or apparel or telephone, that this is iPhone 12 or this is my shirt. But when you take the sofa, the interesting thing is that customer has to see the comfort level. Customer has to see the size. Even if we do have a lot of technology where you can do, but still customer want to come and have it touch and feel. So on that cases, it is there. But if you not only the home furnishing segment, if you look into the other segment as well, even a small Kinara shop. So now he also want to have a system where, customer can choose the product and place the order. So therefore, omni-channel is something which is, as I said, it is not a choice anymore. It's a compulsion where if you will see today, 90% of the retailers, they are in the both platforms.
And from a customer standpoint, are people preferring the web or the app, or is it a combination of the two or dependent on categories? How has the customer behavior changed in the past, say, 2 or 3 years?
If you will see right now, in our business, 80 to 85% of customers, they come through the mobile device. So there's a very few customers who go through either iPad or tablet or from the web version. And in the today, if you will see, you don't have much of the companies with the native app, and now the customer, everything goes through that. You just write down your URL, and after that you do that. So now majority of the company, they want to give the experience to the customer, whether you see the website on your desktop or you see the website in your mobile, the view and the experience, the user experience, user interface is almost the similar. So, and the overall, if you will see the number of download of app, has reduced now as well, because people, they prefer to do that unless and until you are into kind of business where you have a multiple purchases. Like if you are in a Noon or Amazon or Namshi, where you need to have a multiple purchase, then you say that, okay, let me have this app. But having said that, if you will talk about it now, there's a lot of aggregators out there, and where the people take from the multiple brands and they try to give the solution to the customer in one user interface or one platform. So those kind of things, for sure, customer has to download this app and there has to be the app. But if you don't add value to the customer and you don't see that your product has a lifetime value or multiple purchases, on those cases, for sure, the customer, they don't prefer to go for the app. But right now in the current scenario with the web-based app and all that thing, where you don't need to put so much of time and energy to do that, so therefore a lot of companies go through the app. So the answering your question, of course the customer, in the majority of the customer, go through the mobile, and if you add more value, customer prefers to download the app, and customer prefer the download the app. But if there is no repeat purchase, then eventually, when his memory gets filled and they realize that I have not used this app for a long period of time, then they delete those apps as well. So this is the overall trend what we're witnessing.
It's very interesting. Basically, what you're saying is that the preference in general, especially for say single brand organizations, is a website which works well on the desktop and the mobile.
Correct.
And for marketplaces and aggregators, the chosen route is the app, especially when you have multi-product purchase.
Sure, exactly. But in a product like us, like if you're talking about Danube Home, here we believe on a lifetime value of the customer, because we don't sell only the furniture, we sell the complete gambit of the product. From, like, if you build your house, you come to our store to buy bathroom fittings or tiles, electrical hardware and kitchen. After 3 to 4 months, you come to buy curtains, wallpapers, blinds, the decoration items. Then you buy the furniture. Then you buy the garden furniture. Then you have the small accessories from home decor, homeware, home furnishing. So therefore, we believe on a much more larger LTV of the customer, where a customer has to come to our store or come to our website at least 2 to 3 times in a month. So if any brand, they can create the similar kind of engagement level with the customer, and they being relevant to the customer for a long-term perspective, then for sure you need to have that app and the customer download and use it. If you are on a single brand, one purchase in a year or one purchase in 4 months, then it doesn't make sense.
So this is very interesting, Sayed. So talk us through what are the tech tools? What is your sort of MarTech stack that you are using for building out this engagement, given that there are two things which you've said, that there is a frequency of visits and purchase, and there's also longevity.
Absolutely.
That you're talking about, because obviously everyone, the furnishings at homes, you want to do this on an ongoing basis going forward.
True. Well, I'll tell you the MarTech, or if I got a liberty, I can use the Netcore as well. So initially, when I got in touch with your country head of UAE, Mr. Saurabh, so he came out with a solution which was very, very interesting. Like today, if you will see the overall session of a customer in a website, it's not more than 2 to 3 minutes or 4 minutes. In 2 minutes or 3 minutes, a customer decide whether he want to spend more time or not. Now imagine you want to buy a leather sofa, which is a bulky. When you come to my website, it is on the page number 6 or page number 5. And in the page number 1, I have more of the classic, which is for Arab customers. Now, as a customer, he doesn't have a patience to browse it through to page number 5 or page number 6. Then he drop out from there only. So now the tech which Netcore has given is that where the personalization of a customer based on customer's last purchasing pattern or his behavior and his use the other website or buying, then the website or automatically chooses that this product, the leather sofa, which is in page number 6, it come on the page number 1 in row number 2, which is a very, very unique tool in terms of understanding the customer and showing him exactly what he is looking at. So that is one of the tools which we use to understand, which we are using to understand the customer and give him a right solution. Now the number 2, it happens is, now within the same foray of the product, you have multiple products. So I understand today if you buy a bed, then the next product which you want to buy is a mattress, or you want to buy a comforter, or you buy a pillow, or you buy a table lamp, or you buy a side table. So based on that, when you put our algorithm, then system automatically shows to customer that, boss, you have bought this bed, and which is a 2000 dirham. I recommend a mattress which is 1,200 dirham and along with this pillow and the comforter. So where we talk about the cross sell, that when you bought one product, what are the other product lines which you can buy from there. And then we do have an upsell as well. Like for example, you are trying to sell only the bed. Now you sell the other category product within the bed only, which could be a dresser with mirror, or which is a side table, or which is a wardrobe. So that also understanding the need of the customer, understanding his purchasing pattern, his behavior, his budget, then the system recommends automatically. So these are the different routes of the personalization which we have taken.
Right.
And beside that, then we have the marketing automation tool as well, where we try to automate the whole journey, where the system understand based on the customer's buying pattern, and then we we reach to the customer that, hey, you bought one sofa 6 weeks before or 8 weeks before. Right now, you might be needing a other allied product which can go along with the sofa. Or somebody bought a mattress and now the winter is coming, you want to buy a comforter. So based on those logic, that can work out. So these are the different kind of tech tools or different features which we're using to reach to our customer and to solve their problem and give a better experience.
This is excellent. I think you're using the full power of MarTech. I think right from personalization and both cross-sell, upsell, personalization on the website when the customer comes, and of course the automation in terms of the journeys that are being orchestrated. Which are the communication channels, Syed, you have found customers to be most responsive to? So, I mean, I'm sure you'll use SMS, email, WhatsApp from the push channels. So which ones have you found to be of more impact in the engagement?
Right now, if you will see in this part, the one of the biggest channel which works and which gives the immediate result is the Facebook. So that's one of our key marketing tool where we use. So that is as per the global reach of the customer if you want to communicate to the customer, and as well as you have the Google shopping tools, or the in terms of the overall keyword and search engine optimization, that how you come on the front end of the Google search. But once a customer is already engaged with us, then the second best communication is WhatsApp. Because nowadays, the customer, they doesn't feel like calling to the call center, waiting for 1 or 2 minutes and doing that. And just to give you that, and from the Martech, we are in process of utilizing our chatbot as well, which is a WhatsApp based. So where we have done the full personalization AI tool, connecting with our ERP software, the DMS delivery management, as well as the WMS, where we connect the whole journey of the customer and we communicate the customer through that. And now, but the challenge the second project which we are working on right now is that how do we bring all the communication to one platform? Because today customer can go through Facebook Messenger, he can go through the Instagram Messenger, or he can call to the call center, or he can do the WhatsApp. But how do we bring all the communication to one level where we can communicate with the customer on a very, very easy or seamless way? So answering your question, yes, from the Facebook and Google is the one of the main platform for engaging. And once customer engaged with us, and the next tool is the WhatsApp.
Okay. And have you found in your interactions the behavior of millennials to be different from the rest of the population? Because millennials are emerging now as a very powerful segment for pretty much all brands, because they are natively digital in their outreach.
Yeah, very, very rightly said. And the millennials are the futures, and they're going to decide. If you will compare the overall, our buying behavior is very, very different from the millennials buying behavior. Today, I'll give you a live example. Generally in Dubai or in any GCC or Middle East, one of the best time pass for any family is to go to a mall. Because of the summer, you can't go outside or do the outdoor. So generally the thing is that you go to mall and you do the shopping. Trust me, Mr. Jain, today, if you ask any of the children to go to the mall, they don't want to go to the mall. Because the whole habit or the DNA of roaming around has changed. So they don't want to go to the mall. And that is the thing which inculcate on themselves, then it obviously push them to get into more for the shopping in the online. And I want to give two aspects to it. It is one side for sure, millennials are there, but otherwise, even if you will see the people who are ahead of them or above them in terms of their age group, their experience or their habit has also changed. Now, I'll share with you an experience. Generally, before, everyone is to have that if you want to enjoy your life, you want to do the party, then in the weekend, you need to go to some club, you need to go to some pub, you need to go to some nice outing place, and then you enjoy your life there. But this COVID has taught us that we can enjoy our life without going to the party, without going to the club. We can spend time with family, we can do the Zoom call, we can do the family watching the TV, and then or movie, then you can enjoy. So now when the COVID restriction gone, when an individual who used to go to party for say 3 times in a week, now he is reduced to 1 time in a week because they understand the same thing. Now the same logic applies in the online shopping as well. But the way you attract or the way you market your product to a millennial is little bit different from the other aspect or other Gen X of the other category of the customers, because millennials are more tech savvy. So where the content which you write, the features how you share on, so these are the different things which create a lot of difference. As well as there also the patience level is little bit lesser. Like how fast is your overall the product, how it comes faster on your website, and how the different things are being connected with the right kind of information, or else it becomes very difficult for e-commerce player to attract or to retain the customer for a longer period of time. So therefore, if the company changes the concept and tweaks in that way, then it will be much easier and faster to attract that segment of the customer.
Very, very good point, I think. And this point is absolutely right, Sayed, that even it's one of us is the millennials, but even the older people now, because of COVID related restrictions, everyone's become digitally savvy. Like you said earlier, I think this has accelerated probably 3 or 4 years, the whole process of digital adoption.
Absolutely. I'll give you an example. My main job in Danube is buying. So therefore, I used to travel 170 to 180 days in a year, and where you go to across the globe to see the product, go to factory, do the inspection, and then you buy the product. And it was there in our mind, and we have been taught like that. This is the only way. As a buyer, you need to travel, you need to go to factory, you need to choose the product, develop the design. But when the COVID happened, you cannot travel. There's no flight. Still, China is not giving visa. You cannot go. So then how you do? Then the way we learn it, that you have a lot of ways to do that. You take the product, you do the ding talk, you do the Zoom call, you get the sample in. And trust me, now if you will ask me, I will never ever go back to that life.
No, absolutely. I think great point. I think the changes have been at so many different levels. And you're even saying, so it's not just the B2C part which has changed, even the B2B engagements.
Absolutely.
Actions have changed.
Absolutely.
So, Syed, you have been very successful at leading the digital transformation in Danube Home. What are the 2 or 3 learnings that you have, which you can share, say, with other CEOs and CMOs who probably have to, or in the early stages of this transformation?
I'll share, there's no learning. I'll share my experience, what I feel. I'm in my portfolio, I'm heading the e-commerce of Danube Home as well. And to be very honest, I didn't have any much technical understanding. And I'm not a coding guy, or even I'm not a social media guy, or I'm not a marketing. The way we have built Danube Home is that believing on the basics. Like as an CMO or CEO or CFO, whatever the irrespective of your position, if you understand, put yourself in the consumer shoes and try to understand that how the things is going to work, which is logical, which is not logical, and how things is going to work. So you cannot take any success story of any XYZ company and you bring the same formula in your company and you be successful. It has to be tailor-made based on your business. So if you have to summarize, I will recommend 3 things. Number 1 is that first we need to understand our business and define the objective, what we want to achieve. Like today, if I will give an example, Danube Home, our overall revenue, we sell sanitary, tiles, electrical, hardware, furniture, garden. So we have functional, we have lifestyle. The functional contribute close to 40% of the business and 60% is contributed by the lifestyle. When we did our e-commerce, I realized the fact that I cannot bring the functional customers to e-commerce platform on an easy basis, because it requires a different kind of understanding, different kind of DNA of the business. So what was the low hanging fruit was the lifestyle business. So therefore we changed all the model of the business, focusing on the lifestyle, and we know we want to go to the functional. Let's go step by step. Second, if I will tell you the similarly, our majority of the business come from two countries, UAE and Oman, where Oman contributes close to again 40-45% of the business, and UAE contributes to 50% of the business. But we know that it is easy for us to penetrate in UAE than in Oman, because of geography, because of the customer purchasing behavior, purchasing pattern and all that. So therefore we thought, let's focus on the UAE. So first point is understand your business, identify your strength area, and based on that, you make your business plan. Number two is you can hire or get the best of the talent from the industry. But the first thing is you should look for the people within your organization. The people who has, because those are the people who was part of building your company. So they know the basics of the company. They know that how things are being made, and it will be much more easier for them to get the things roll on and bringing onto the table a much more easier way. And accordingly, then you take the people from the different perspective. I'll share with you the live example. In 2018, we thought that we want to accelerate our e-commerce business. So therefore, let's hire a senior guy. So though we hire one guy as an e-commerce manager. And due to ABC reasons, that guy, we have to part with him after 6 months or 8 months. Then my HR guy, he said, looking for his replacement. Then he came back. Then he said, Mr. Habib, if you want to hire, now what is the position of this e-commerce manager? Because to run this company, you need one technology, you need one marketing, you need logistics, and you need product. So, but this guy, his job is coordinating with all the 4 people. So do you need a coordinator, or you need to have a 4 specific category specialists so that they can bring on the table? So in that, what we did, then we realized, okay, very nice. So product I don't need, because I have my product team strong. Customer service I don't need, because I have my customer service. The only thing which I'm lacking is technology and the marketing. In the marketing, I have the specialized for brick and mortar. So we have a common resources for digital marketing. Let's get one guy there. So that is the way we build it up. So therefore, it was very easy or simple for us to go to the next level.
This is fantastic advice. I think very, very practical. You've gone through this. I think the key point, if I were to summarize, is first look at the low-hanging fruit, the easy wins.
Absolutely.
So you get the successes, which creates the confidence in everyone. And second point, important one you made, is that look within.
Absolutely.
They're the people who know your business very well. And many times it's the same functions, but you also need coordination across them. So that's the type of person. You don't need to start from scratch.
Absolutely.
There.
Absolutely.
Very helpful advice.
And the last point, what I say is that you need to be very agile. Mm-hmm. So you cannot say that if you have made something, it is going to last for a longer period of time. You need to be very, very agile, so that the moment you see something is working, focus on that. Not working, don't be emotional about it, change it.
Great. I think this whole, as we call it, A/B testing, experimentation, I think is very important. Very helpful advice. One sort of final question before we move to our 5 ones, the last segment. One of the key strategies that Danube Home has employed in its growth is franchising. And you've looked at the whole franchising space. Tell us a little about how franchising works. How do you go about picking franchisees?
The story of, I'll take just 30 seconds to go back to the past story. Like the Danube Home, Danube basically is a building material company where we sell plywood, timber, MDF. We are known as the #1 building material company in the Middle East. In 2009 and 10, the founder and chairman, Mr. Rizwan, he thought to get into the retail business, taking the inspiration from B&Q and Home Depot from the US and UK. But the business model in Dubai is absolutely different. Here, there is no culture of DIY. People, they don't want to buy themselves. Then, it is more of they don't want to do it themselves. They're more of a service-driven company. Right. So we opened a new Build Mart, and we run it for 4 years, and we realized that the concept is not suitable to this market. So in 2015, we rebranded ourselves from Danube Build Mart to Danube Home. Mm-hmm. And that is the time our journey started. And when we made in Saudi, we opened a big store in UAE and Oman. Then we realized that this concept got a potential to grow across the globe. And because the whole the display of the product, the price, the assortment, customer centric service, this can have a huge progress, and we can be a global brand. But we thought, if you want to go global brand, you want to go across the globe, you cannot expand either with your own equity, or you cannot expand with your bank support, because the finance is one part, but the most important thing is the local support, that how you are going to work on the local market, your bureaucracy, the government laws and all that. Then the best route to go about was the franchisee route. So in 2015, when we were building our own store, at the same time we got into the franchisee business. And we thought that one of the best market to explore the franchise is Africa. And I took a lot of inspiration from Mr. Tim Clark, the president of Emirates Airlines, the number one airline in the world. He says that I don't look into the population of UAE 9.2 or 10 million. For me, there's a 2 billion population, 1 billion India, 1 billion Africa. And for African people, Dubai is the hub. And it's a very easy people travel from there. So therefore, we got into the franchisee route to Africa. And we learned during our journey from 2016 to 2019. And as I said earlier, the 2020, I know a lot of people have lost their life, lost their job, lost their loved ones. But if I got the liberty to say, for me, 2020 was a blessed year. Because, when we built this company from 2015 to 2020, we were just running around. So 2020 gave a time to sit back, look back, understand and explore. So we have came out with the absolutely new concept of the franchising, where we have came three concepts: Danube Home, the big store, 20,000 square feet and above. Then you have Danube Home Express, which is a cash and carry model for 3,000 square feet. And then you have Milano by Danube Home, which is a functional product that is also 2,500 square feet and above. It's a completely plug and play model. And I'm so happy to say that within last 6 months, we have recruited more than 18 franchisee partners in across the African and CIS countries. We got in Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Tanzania, Rwanda, Uganda, Malawi, Zimbabwe, Ghana, Nigeria. Even we're opening in Nepal. So these are the all expansions. And we look into this vertical in a very dedicated way. And it is not on how we are launching is, we are in all these countries, we are not launching it only as a brick and mortar store. Rather, it is a combination of e-commerce as well as the brick and mortar. And the day is not far, we'll be one of the company in East Africa where we'll have a presence in 12 countries with our own warehouse, with our own store. So to connect to all these countries and creating one platform will be one of the huge thing in that market, which can give a convenience to the customer.
This is fantastic, truly entrepreneurial in your outlook and execution. Just a quick question. If there were one or two things you look for in a franchisee partner, because now this is no longer your own organization, you're dealing with someone else. You got to have trust because they're also going to represent the Danube brand in that country. What do you look for? One or two things that you look for in your franchisee partner?
First of all is the attitude of the customer, and that what is his past record and what is his long-term vision. Like today, if you find, like in my business, if you will see, there are three kind of investors out there. One person is, he is into the similar business. He's running a furniture store. He's running a home furnishing store, but he's not able to run it because, the best example is like Oyo. Like you have a multiple hotels. You are a hotel owner, but you are not able to compete with Hiltons and Grand Hyatt and all that. So therefore, you need a company who bring the system, who bring the processes, and then you can work out. So you have one set of those customers who are already running a franchise, their own store, but they're not able to compete in display, in merchandising, in buying, in technology, in training and all that. So then you tie up with them. So for those people, we look into the fact that whether this guy has a short-term thinking or it is a long-term thinking. What is his appetite for the growth? What is his vision about whether he thinks short-term in terms of delivery, in terms of customer service, or he has a large view. So then we align. If we think that both of things are going along line, then it works. That is the one. Second type of category of a customer, you see that somebody is into automobile business or pharmacy business or into agriculture business. Now he want to expand into the new territory. He want to expand into the new business for his son, for his, his expansion, whatever is the reason maybe. On that also, we try to understand that whether this company or this individual, he has a passion for this or not. Because home furnishing business is like, the retail is always said it's easy to start, but it is not that easy to sustain for a long period of time. One of the person which I admire a lot is Mr. Yusuf Ali, the founder and owner of Lulu supermarket. He says that, the retail is like you create a train. So first you create an engine proper. So once your engine is good, then you can keep on adding the bogie.
Beautifully put.
Yeah. So that case, you see the attitude and the long-term understanding of the customer or the investor, and based on that, do that. But even my company and a lot of people, they say that, Habib, you are keep on recruiting so many people and they will learn the business. It might happen that they don't want to work. I strongly feel, and my answer to all of them is, in any relationship, till the time both parties are relevant to each other, relationship will not collapse. So therefore, as a franchisor, our one of the biggest job is how I become relevant to him. Every day morning, I should have a new initiative, a new thing, whether the other person thinks that, okay, this guy is there with me and he value the relationship. So when we see those kind of qualities, the attitude, long-term perspective, as well as his view on the business, passion towards the business, and his own involvement, and focus on creating a professional team. And then we think from our objective that whether we can be a right partner for them in that market or not. Then based on that, we take it forward.
Great insights. I think fascinating conversation. Sayed, I think you've brought a lot of different dimensions, right from the last bit about franchising to the growth, which you're seeing, and a lot of your personal stories. I think it's been a great set of inputs.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Likewise.
And we come to the last segment of our program, of our show today. So these are what I call the 5 ones, sort of quick, short answers. One future tech or trend that excites you, Sayed?
Referring to my industry or the home furnishing, the thing which excites is the AR and VR. Because I feel the AR, VR and the whole personalization thing, I strongly feel that any organization who come out with the solution that how sitting at your own home, you can feel the comfort level of the sofa, or you can check the stability or the steadiness of a bed, that is going to change the whole buying behavior of the furniture and furnishing industry. Today in US, if you will see the number of fashion retailers versus Amazon, and you see the number of Home Depot versus Amazon, Home Depot is still growing. Bed Bath and Beyond is performing a good number. The reason being is still all these marketplace companies of the big tech giant are not able to give that solution. So the technology which excites me is that if we can crack it down, then that will be something which will be a huge accelerator factor.
Great point. One trend or tech that has disappointed you in the last few years?
Disappointing, I'm not very sure about it, but I literally feel a little bit of thing about this data privacy and the overall things which is going on about it, that how you capture the customer's behavior, you capture facial expression, or you take the data and after that you work, and with all the the social dilemma Netflix series to the all other things, it sometimes disturbed the WhatsApp privacy policies and all that. But beside that, I don't have any specific thing to worry about.
Right. One good book recommendation?
I'm reading it right now, like Say No to Jugaad, Big Basket Theory, So that's one of the very, very nice book, which I'm reading now. I'm in the last phase of it in the last week. So which is very like, how a tech company, how e-commerce company established in a place like India, and it gives me, the connecting to the first point. It was so nice when I read that analogy. He says that if a housewife is going to buy a mango, so when she buy a mango, she keeps in his mind whether I need to consume all 12 mangoes tomorrow, or I want to consume 3 tomorrow and 9 after a week. Based on that, she will buy 3, the ripe mango, and 4 or 9, all that. And likewise, in the second week she goes to buy, she says that all I want to consume today, and the third one I want to consume in 1 week later. So now if the same customer, he want to buy online, how do I distinguish that which is a ripe mango, which is an unripe mango? These are the real life experience, and based on that, the way they build the company and it is it's a very, very exciting. I fall in love with that, the whole founders as well as the thing. So that's a very, very exciting. I will propose to or recommend to anyone who is into this, they should read that book.
Great recommendation. One good person or podcast you think people should follow?
I do. I see a lot of masterclass. So one of the best guy which I follow is Mr. Howard, the founder of Starbucks. So I have actually two favorite. One is Richard Branson and Mr. Howard. The way they feel about the whole organization, whole people, and the whole processes. Like if you go to the Starbucks, whether it is in London or it's in Shanghai or it's in Seoul, you will find the similar kind of thing. And how they build it up and the thought process is very, very inspiring. So I will recommend to follow these people.
Great suggestions. And finally, one key driving belief in your life.
Team first, rest is everything. So I believe that without the team, without the right people, we have no value. So if any time we say that we don't build the business, we build the people, and in turn people build the business. So you take care of the people and people will take care of everything for you. So my belief or my thought process in the life is believe on your team, create a right kind of person, and balance your life between your work and family. Then you'll not have any regret in your life, and inshallah everything will move on at the right track.
I think very well said. In fact, I'm reading Jim Collins again, and one of the points Jim Collins, built to last, good to great. He says is first who, then what. Focus on the people, and then worry about what you're going to do. I think it's the same point you've echoed very well. Team first. It's been a fantastic conversation, Sayed. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, sir. Really, I also enjoyed, sometimes when you do this kind of conversation, you go back to a byline of your memory and you relive those moments. So trust me, last half an hour, 40 minutes was very, very exciting and nice time for me. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for this opportunity.
Great. Thank you everyone for watching. This was MartechBrain, a NetCore initiative. We'll be back with another episode next week. Thank you.